Greetings and welcome to the GMIHub online. Tonight's going to be an awesome night. We're going to be talking about marketing techniques, and our greatest special guest for tonight is Rick Barker. Now, Rick Barker has actually got an incredible passion for artists and marketing strategies. And we are just going to poke his brain tonight and hopefully get some really cool information for you guys to pick up. All right, so tonight on the GMIHub, we just want to let you know we are live. We are live on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let us know by your comments down below what's going on in your life and what do you think of the topic. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down there as well. Also, don't forget our website is gmihub.ca. You go onto the gmihub.ca, and of course, you'll see all the great things that we're up to. And we have a Hub Happenings, which is a monthly e-newsletter coming your way. If you put in your email address into that little form, which is on our front page, we'll make sure you get that Hub Happenings every month. And thank you so much for listening. Now, don't forget also, just to remind you that we have our Christmas compilation CD, which is released already. It's on Bandcamp. If you go to check it out, you'll see the 10 amazing submissions that we had for this year's compilation. The GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 2 is available on Bandcamp. I'm just going to say this a couple of times throughout the show, but it's gmihub.bandcamp.com. And go check out, and you can download all those songs that are there for you this Christmas season. And now let me hand it over to Cheryl Dewick. I am Dale Borland.
And I'm Cheryl Dewick. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to have Rick Barker with us. Rick, hi, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Rick, where are we tuning in? Where are you tuning in from?
I live in Nashville, just south of Nashville, about 20 minutes outside of the city in a little suburb called Nolensville.
So all from Nolensville. Welcome to all the people from Nolensville who are watching as well.
Big shout out.
Rick, we've been so excited to have you on here because we've been watching some of your podcasts, and I'm on your mailing list, of course. So one of the things we really wanted to talk about was marketing tactics for our indie artists, and we're kind of tapping into a group called the gospel/Christian artists, and the reason is because a lot of them aren't equipped, or they don't feel equipped to market themselves. And we felt that the information that you share might be very, very helpful. So
Awesome. Well, it's all mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's that thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. It's no different than just basically saying I have a whole bunch of technology to share my testimony. I have a whole bunch of technology that allows me to share my message, my music, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't use the technology, you really have no one to blame yourself because it's free. So the concept is to learning the tools available, because the strategies that never change. Get your message to as many people as you possibly can. So just think about in the Bible. Jesus went and found these 12 guys. He told them stories. They went out and shared his stories. And when he showed up, they all came in to see if the stories were true and to hear them from the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus would have rocked Twitter. He would have gone viral on TikTok. I mean, it's like he has the world church available to him with the internet, and that's the tools that all of you have as well.
That's right. That's essentially what you're kind of nailing right there. Is you have access to these tools. They're right there. So you have no excuse not to be able to do that which is best for you, as marketing potentially could be. Yeah,
exactly. I'm looking at the comments inside the YouTube channel, and I think that Faith is also hearing an echo from me, Cheryl, which we were hearing earlier. So we apologize for that. That's also what happens with technology sometimes. But if you bear with us, we'll give you quality information.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of the marketing techniques that you have seen utilized, especially in our modern day with the technology, and in maybe through this whole COVID pivot that a lot of artists are now experiencing.
I think the ability to go live, just like you're doing right now, is something that a lot of artists grabbed hold of during COVID. What was interesting is I've been teaching people how to utilize Facebook Live for my goodness, I think 3.5 years. And then now we have these other opportunities that came into play. And now you've got Instagram Live, you've got YouTube Live, you can go live on Twitter, you can go live on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, there's so many multiple opportunities. And I think how people can best utilize that is by realizing that it's not the same. When you go live and perform on the social platforms, you cannot treat it the same way that you treat a stage performance or a performance at a church.
Okay, how do you unpack that a little bit so people will get an understanding what you're talking about?
And let me just say to Daryl, whatever he did for the last 45 seconds, I wasn't hearing an echo. So whatever button he switched, the echo's back, but it was gone. Now it's gone. So whatever has happened, it's gone now. So woohoo! Okay. So unpacking the concept of being live on Facebook, and we'll just use Facebook for example, is that you have the ability to interact with your audience in a way that you don't have when you're on stage. When people go to a concert or a venue, their engagement is mostly with the audience. It's whatever emotion the whole entire audience is feeling, that's what they're feeling. So when you're live on Facebook and you're able to sit there and go, hey, Dale, it's great to see you. Cheryl, awesome to see you. You're now able to acknowledge people in a way that you normally would not be able to acknowledge them from the stage. So it's calling people out. It's letting them know you see them, because I think that's what everyone wants, is everyone wants to feel like they're being seen, like they're being heard. And we can do that the way that we're doing it with this technology, not the same way if you're on the stage.
No, absolutely. And I think that the exact problem with me, live is more interactive and I can get a sense of the moment, where online I don't have the essence of the room. You know, like you have a group and you can really know if you're doing something well, if it's working well, if you're saying the right thing. But it's like being on the radio. I was on the radio for almost 18.5 years, and you're talking to a microphone. You have to pretend or assume you're person you're speaking to, and the reaction has to be something you create. It's a bit of a challenge, I think.
It was for me when I did radio. I did radio for 15 years, and what's interesting is when I first started, I couldn't wrap my head around the concept that there were people actually listening. So my strategy is I took an 8x10. I had a roommate who was a model, and I put her picture up, and I told Heidi the weather. I told Heidi the traffic.
That's great.
I told Heidi what was, and everybody would come in and they're like, what's this picture doing on the board? They go, oh, that's Rick's roommate. He talks to her about everything when he's on the air.
Oh, that's really interesting. Because I did stage for many years, so I just kind of applied the principles of stage acting to radio.
It's the same concept, but I think when you're on stage at a live event, you can see the vibe from the audience, but you don't connect one-on-one.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, you're right.
So that's the so for example. Okay.
You have to unmute your mic. Sorry, Rick. Your mic's been muted, buddy. There you go. Try again.
Yeah. So Faith, for example, who's here, she's able to engage with us in real time. She would not be able to engage with us in real time if we were just on the stage.
All right.
So now you're able to call people out by name, when you're able to, you know, when you've got everything's going on in the chat and you're like, oh, Billy, welcome. Good to see you here. Oh, if you guys, we were at Billy's church last Sunday, and now you're making this connection with these people. And I always say the connections that you build online will translate offline, because now, like for my clients, they were like, oh my gosh, everyone's staying after. They're going to the merch table to meet me later. They feel so much more connected to me. And one of the things that we saw during COVID was John Legend, Alicia Keys, all these artists saw this opportunity that independent artists had been taking advantage of, because they didn't get to play Madison Square Garden. They didn't get to tour the way that these major label artists did, but now they were all on a level playing field. Right. They had the same hours in the day and the same technology to go engage with these people, and they started doing.
So it changed from an observation to participation. That's pretty amazing.
That's the best slot. It went from observation to participation.
Wow, that's so cool. All right, so there's some things that maybe some artists might do that I've noticed. They might super saturate their socials with them and maybe do more harm than good. Is that a possibility?
It's a major possibility because it's like your friend that just shows up and talks about themselves all the time.
Exactly, that's my caution. So I think that we have to be strategic as an artist, what material you put out, or what videos you do, what postings you make.
Well, the way we look at it is that it's about the end user. It's not about me. So if all I did was go on my socials and go, I worked with Taylor Swift and I worked at Sony Music, they'd be like, great, what are you doing for me? But when I show up and say, these are the 3 things that you need to do in order to be successful, this is how you do these 3 things. Now I'm giving them something of value. And if I show up on a daily basis, providing them value, at some point, then I can say, hey, remember those 3 things that I gave you? I'm going to invite you to a presentation where I'm going to go over them in detail. And it's from there that I will then make an offer. Mm-hmm. Social media was not designed to sell. It was designed for friends to stay connected with each other. I always tell people I use social media for engagement and relationship building. I use my email list and my ads on Facebook and Instagram in order to sell, but I do not use my social posts. I said something to an artist one day. He's like, Rick, I love the fact that you're not always trying to sell me something. I said, well, let me just clarify something. If my mouth is open and I'm talking, I'm selling. I just may not be asking for it at that particular time.
No, that makes sense. I mean, what you're trying to, I don't know if selling is a good way to put it, but you're promoting something. You're trying to put something forward, and like maybe it is selling is a way to put it, I guess. It's just
that's
that
not an evil word, by the way.
No, you're right. More like representing what that part that you're trying to, I don't know how to explain it, but engage with other people.
Musicians are selling an emotion. Songs are emotions. They want to make you laugh. They want to make you cry. They want to make you think. They want to make you dance. I always tell someone, I said, it's real interesting. I'll use country music, for example, that Live Like You Were Dying could be #1 in the same exact year as the song Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off. Okay. Both went #1. Both provided seemingly different emotions, but all struck a chord at the point that they were supposed to strike a chord.
Okay, because they hit people at a different place, an emotional place. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because we have a friend of ours, Tom Jackson. He works with artists in their stage presentation, and he goes with this journey on a concert where you take people through this emotional journey, and it's vital in order to have people not only remember who you were as an artist and the songs you sang, but that journey that they took with you, and they'll bring that home with them. They'll remember that more than maybe the songs.
He spends his whole process for you Canadians creating moments. That's all he talks about. How can we create moments in our song?
Yeah.
The way that it was recorded is not the way that you perform it live, and you feeding off the audience. And if you're doing a little riff and the crowd's reacting, why leave that riff? Keep playing it. You're live. You're driving the car. It's like, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of artists will try to go on and use Facebook Live or Instagram Live and play the song the exact same way that it was on the record, and they're never interacting.
And there's an opportunity right there. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Great stuff. Cheryl, your microphone's not working, dear. So there's so many people that do that kind of, like I said, super saturate or overdo it on social media, and it's like that friend that's always bugging and saying, "You play with me," And I totally agree with you. So what would you say to an artist to give them a headspace that makes that type of thing something that they can do better at? What kind of thing would you say to them?
First thing you need to know who your audience is. You can take lyrics from your songs and start conversations. You can take imagery from your album artwork and start conversations. You can be talking about yourself, but do it in questions. I always like to start questions with that I get the best results from is, have you ever felt? Have you ever experienced? Have you ever wondered? Now think about, as a believer, which I am, and all of you, I think, are, if you're watching this program right now, have you ever experienced loss? Well, I know exactly how you're feeling, and that's what inspired this song. So now that hook is now, wow, I'm experiencing loss. One of the activities I did with my artists when COVID first started is I said, the best song that you can write is the emotion that people are feeling today at this particular moment. So that also means that we're going to get involved in conversations that are already happening. Too often, I think artists are always trying to start the conversation geared around what it is that they're doing, instead of saying, wow, it's summertime, I feel free, I feel vibrant. Wait, I have a song that triggers that emotion. Hey, I'm at home, I feel lost, I feel confused, I feel heartbroken, I feel lonely, I feel depressed. Well, you know what? There's a song for that too. So whatever emotion that your audience is experiencing and going through, that's what you want to tap into. It's like one of the activities that I give my clients who are songwriters is I said, I want you to watch the news. And when you see a story, write down everything, how it made you feel. Made me laugh, made me cry, made me wonder. And then take those feelings and say, okay, it made me cry. What's everything that goes along with cry? Why would you cry? I would cry because I'm injured. I would cry because my heart was broken. I would cry because a loved one passed. I would cry because I'm confused. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why we would do things. And then when you can bring your music to the solution or to participate in that conversation already happening, that's what a good marketer does. I'll use Budweiser, for example. Budweiser does not have to do any branding anymore. Everyone who's a drinker knows what Budweiser is. But what Budweiser does is it says, hey, the next time you want to go have a beer, think Bud. McDonald's, no one has to do branding anymore for McDonald's, but when you're hungry for a greasy burger, think McDonald's. You know, they're constantly trying to remind us that they're the solution
That's
for
right.
whatever it is that we may be going.
They do it all for you. Right. It's true. Now let's get back. I mean, that's great for songwriting. I mean, guys, you got a little bonus tip today, right, on songwriting. That's great. Thank you, Rick, for that. Now, marketing techniques that you've seen an artist and managers do that have an attitude that the artist gives them, like, even if they're not successful, there's an attitude of success. There's a, you know what I mean? Like the betrayed that, or portrayed, not betrayed. Oops, they portrayed that. And to break down maybe a little bit some of the things that maybe you could give to some of our artists here that might help them to produce some quality marketing.
Yeah. So the thing is, and I do this at Discovery. I call it discovery marketing. So if someone happens, maybe someone saw you at the church and said, hey, you need to go check out Cheryl. And then they go and they'll go to Google if they don't, or they'll go to, I always call it their weapon of choice. They'll go on Facebook and they'll look her up. They'll go on Instagram. What is it that people see at Discovery? Is your bio? Do we know you're an artist? Do we know what type of music that you do? Is your thumbnail professional? People want to connect with people. So I would never use a logo as my circle, as my thumbnail, because people don't want to connect with brands. They want to connect with people. So even if it's, you know, it would be a picture of Cheryl, but it might say GMIHub, or it may be a picture of Dell, but it's a picture of a human being that they feel that they're wanting to connect with. So Faith had asked a question. She's like, what should I be posting when I'm not always selling? That's a great thing. And that's what I think keeps most artists away from social media is they're like, well, I have nothing to talk about. What you're saying is you don't have anything to talk about yourself about. But you could show a picture. You could just say something that says, Happy Monday. You could shoot a picture, hold a picture of you and your dog and say in the comments, share a picture with your furry friend. I mean, there's so many different things. So what that's doing is them getting to know you. Because all we want is some form of engagement. And the best form of engagement is not a music video that says, hey, watch my music video and tell me what you think about it. Someone's going to go, I only have 15 minutes to be on Facebook to see what my relatives are doing and my friends are doing. I'm not going to use 4 minutes of it to watch a video of an artist I may or may not feel connected to, and then take the time to tell them what No, they're just going to scroll right past you. So when you do those posts, true and false questions are really good posts to engage with. I'll say this. If you're a female artist, I want you to do this for me. I want you to take a picture of you holding 2 pairs of shoes and go, which one should I wear on stage? People love to give opinions. They love to give their opinion. And that interaction is going to tell the algorithms, wow, there's something going on here. They just posted this picture and now all these people are commenting. Now, the trick is when people comment, go, you need to comment back, because then your numbers double, triple, quadruple. The algorithm doesn't know that half of them are you.
Mm-hmm. But you're engaging with the people that the conversation's happening.
Correct.
And it's you're building. That's awesome.
Wow. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. My mic is back. Rick, this is so cool. I was about to find out from you, what are some of the mistakes that people have used, that you've seen, when people are trying to market, when new artists are trying to market themselves? What are some things that they should not be doing?
One is that they weren't consistent leading up to the point where they needed to market an album release, for example, that they went radio silent. You need to post multiple times a day if you want to be seen or heard. You cannot post too much. Now, the reason for that is that when people go on socials, the only time they really come to my site is usually at that first stage of discovery. Then I'm hoping to show up in their feed. I can only show up in their feed. How often do you scroll through your Facebook and see posts from a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago? You don't. You see what's happening in real time. So you've got to consistently put something in front of them. Doesn't always have to be about your new album or things like that, but you need to, one, post consistently. Second is leading up to a release. It's like starting your car in the morning. I was explaining to my son, who's a driver, that your car needs to warm up for 3 or 4 minutes before you take off to school. You can't just start it and go, or it's going to break down. That's the same thing with your social media presence. If you have been stagnant for a little while, you need to recharge it before you start marketing, or you're going to get frustrated. You're going to go, wow, I'm talking about my record and I'm getting no comments and no like. It's because no one's seeing it yet, because you turned your car off. And you can't turn it back on immediately and expect that, okay, Facebook, hey, Rick's back, we'll just start showing all his stuff again. And Instagram, they don't play that way. What they want to do is that they were designed to sell ads. That's what they're designed for. That's the only way they make money. So there's only so much real estate that they have to pop in ads. So to keep me on the platform, they're going to say, who are the people that have engaged with Rick? We're going to show them his stuff first. So if no one's engaged with you and you haven't engaged with anyone else, they're not going to turn on this massive tool that you have because you use it properly.
Okay, guys, if you're listening to this is a great nugget of stuff. This is like gold here. Just remember this. Okay, consistency of posting. I just want to recap a little bit, and charge the social if you've been under the radar for a while. It's really important, because you're starting totally dry if you're just going to try and post a whole bunch of stuff. Nobody knows who you are. You got to get up there and do charge that social. Get up there every day, talk to people, go live if you're able. Just do that kind of stuff. Engage with your people, and then you can hit them with, I got an album. Hey, I got a song. You got to hear it, so that they're there with open arms, saying, oh, I know this guy. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So consistency of posting. Thank you. That's a good one.
And if you don't think you have anything to post, there's this book called the Bible. You could post a psalm every day. You could post something, a proverb every day. You could say why this Bible verse means something to you. Don't be afraid to share other people's content as well. I do this a lot. I will go into Reels. And by the way, Reels, if you're not using Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels, start, because that's the only place where they will, if you've got something that's hitting, they'll show it to people that don't follow you, that have shown interest in that type of thing. Motivational quotes do really well. Positive quotes do really well. Bible verses do really well, especially because that's your audience. It's like if you're trying to, some people will say, well, some of my audience may not be into that. Then you have the wrong audience. So that's why if you know who your audience is, if you're a young female artist and you feel that your audience shops at Forever 21 and you're in the mall, take a picture in front of the Forever 21 that's got the 15% off sign in the window and say, hey, in case you guys are wondering, there's 15% off at Forever 21. If that's who your audience is, they're going to appreciate things like that. If that's not your audience, they won't. So rule number one, know who it is that you're trying to serve.
Okay.
Wait. Dale, you're gonna have to unmute your mic.
I was caught up in that. I was thinking, know your audience. It's like know your demographic. We talk about in radio all the time. Know your demographic, and it's the same thing with an artist. Know your audience. Absolutely.
Well, it's so easy to get nervous about what to post. I see what you're saying though. People want to get to know you as an artist. So don't be afraid to share about you. But it's so easy to second guess and think, well, do they really want to know what color shoes?
But let me ask you this, Cheryl. If your best friend walks in, are you nervous to talk to them? Are you nervous to bring up topics around them that you know that they will want to engage with? So the more you can get to know your audience and the more you feel like you have a connection with them, the less nervous you're going to be.
And like you said too, that just posting a verse or something that means something to you, or reposting somebody's post that you agreed with or liked, that's something that can also engage with your audience. So you don't have to be always thinking that I'm the one who has to work at stuff. It's just to be doing stuff every day, just to enjoy. Like the GMIHub.
When all else fails, share something funny that a kid or an animal is doing, and you'll win every time.
Say that again.
We lost you again, Dell. You're talking to yourself. Somebody keeps.
I was just saying kittens. I was just saying post a kitten.
Yes.
But we do the GMIHub. We do tips every Friday. We do pro tips, and we talk about what artists should little things, and we do verses from time to time. And so it doesn't have to be us saying, "Hey, watch the show," although that's important. I think it's just like you say, take some time to just do something and let people know you're still around. And
what happens is if you do verses and you say, hey, if this is the type of content that you're into, we have the show every whatever where we interview people. If getting your music heard is important to you, you should check out our YouTube channel. We've got conversations with blank, blank, and blank. So you can always slip in what it is that you're doing. If you first tap into, this is what they want, this is what they like, this is what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I would.
So it's feeling them out, really. So, what you've done, Rick, is just basically confirm a few things. You talked earlier about emotion, and it's funny, we did have someone who was paneling with us, and literally that's what this artist is very good at. She's expressing her emotion, and she wasn't planning to do that. It was just, she's just sharing her story, and people connected with her story, and she's got a number of followers as a result of that. So thank you for confirming that. That's just really awesome. So another question, I don't know if it's really marketing related, but usually when we hear about marketing, people are directed towards a website, but we also know there's Linktree, which I guess gives the option to do website and a few other things. In your opinion, what's most effective?
Well, I think what's most effective is the path of least resistance. Sometimes people will overdo Linktree. So in your bio and Instagram, for example, you're only allowed one link. So when you click on a Linktree, it's an app that allows you to put YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple. Sometimes artists will overdo it. I always say focus on whatever the message is. If you're promoting a current single, the link in your bio should be the path of least resistance to hear that song. If you're promoting a new video, upload that video directly into Facebook. Don't try to do a Facebook post with a link for people to go to YouTube, because if I'm on Facebook, if I want to go to YouTube, I'm going to YouTube. Another big mistake I see artists make is they try to use other platforms to promote other platforms. Use the platforms to promote yourself. So all of you, if you have uploaded a video to YouTube, you have that video file. You can upload it directly into Facebook. You now can upload up to an hour of video directly into Instagram, and they'll put a minute of it inside your feed with a button that says click here to watch more. So use the platforms for what they were designed for, and let's stop trying to get them to do what it is that we want them to do. That's what happened with me on TikTok, is that I said, I need to be able to teach. And the guy who I paid to consult me on TikTok said, it's not about what you want TikTok to do for you. It's about what value do you bring to TikTok? Short, choppy, to the point, quick thing. So I had to restructure if I wanted to be successful there. I set out January of 2021 is I was going to post to TikTok every single day for a month. And what I found was, for me, my audience that was coming to me wanted to meet Taylor Swift. They didn't want to be Taylor Swift. So it was the wrong audience for me. And I shifted my focus to the one platform I think everyone should use is Instagram. So I teach based off my own mistakes. I teach off of my own investments that I make first. I will spend my money to test the waters before I ever make a recommendation to any of my clients. So the advice that I'm giving to you is from, I'm a practitioner. I do what I do. I run ads. People see me on ads. Everything I teach is everything that I do. And I've learned a lot more from my mistakes, because once I have multiple successes, the technology will change. The platform will change, but the tactics will always change. The strategies will never change. Get your message in front of as many of the right people as possible.
Good. Okay. At this time, I just want to thank you guys. If you're watching online, thank you so much. GMIHub Online is here on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time we upload a video. Also hit the like button. That'd be great. And visit our website. It's the GMIHub.ca. We've got lots of really cool things going on there, as well as our monthly hub happenings coming your way if you sign up and give us your email. So let's get back to the questioning.
Well, we have covered the website. We have covered, I think we've covered the website. We've covered social media.
When you say covered the website, what do you mean by that?
Well, okay, let's look at, I'm just going to review. Website. Artists, what should artists have and not have on the website? You did mention that people want to connect with the people and not with the branding, but what more can you offer with that regarding the website?
So first off, you need to have a website because it's the only piece of real estate that you own. So your website is the house that you own. Social media is rental properties that you're borrowing. You're renting someone else's audience. They're graciously allowing you to be in front of their audience. The website is your audience. On the website, keep it clean, keep it simple. See you, hear you, connect with you. We don't need 15 images. We don't need crazy graphics. Give me a video where I can hear you. If you've got a lot going on your website, I like that welcome video to be the first thing they see, where you're like the tour guide at Universal Studios. Hey, welcome to my site. By the way, you're going to get videos over here. You're going to get my latest releases over here. And I've created an exclusive community that I would like to invite you to. Just tell me where to send the invitation. That's a very polite way of saying, give me your email address, without saying subscribe to my newsletter, because none of you are news writers. So they know what that means. You're only going to email me when you want to talk about yourself. So they're not going to do that. Subscribe to my list are words that should never be used anywhere, because no one wants to be on a list. Every day I'm unsubscribing from lists that I happen to get on, because I'm a marketer. I'm always signing up for things to see what other people are doing. So you want to use your website and keep it simple and keep it clean. If you're promoting a single, the image artwork for the single should be front and center, the ability for them to hear the song, see the song. If you want to use a Spotify player, if your audience is into Spotify, if not, have music embedded on your website where they can play the music, but don't try to send them. The worst thing I think an artist can do, as soon as you work so hard to get them to your house, you send them off to somebody else's house, and now they control the conversation that's going on. They're going to show you the next video they want you to see. They're going to show you the next post that they want you to see. If you have everything in order on your website, you control the customer journey, as it's called, in marketing. This is my best video. I want to make sure you see that. I can't trust that they're going to go to YouTube and watch all my videos and determine which one I think is the best. The other thing, speaking of going to YouTube, if you have things on there that do not best represent you, or you feel you need to be there to explain, hide them.
I love what you said. I just want to reiterate, guys, listen to this. Your social media, okay, do what it's designed to do. Don't try to fit what you're going to do, because it does what it does. You have to fit into that category to make it work for you. Platforms, use them to promote yourself, but make sure you work within their format. Website, okay, that's your home. Social media is a rental space. I love the way you put that. It's great because this is your place to be you on your website. And so that's great to have your best foot forward and all that type of stuff. Very cool.
Okay. So I guess some common mistakes on websites. There's been too busy and just always redirecting.
Too busy and not mobile friendly. Make sure you're using a platform that's mobile friendly. And if you have a bunch of tabs across the top, know that they're not going to show up in mobile. It's going to be 3 little lines in the corner. Most people won't touch those. It's just going to scroll straight down. So here's your if it's a website, then there's a logo. That's fine. People have most people go to a website because they know you. So it's okay there. We're hoping that we are shareable on socials. So remember, that's where the majority of newcomers to your world are going to come from. Those that go to your website may know that you're in a band. They're okay seeing latest single out now, available on all platforms. That's expected. It's like, hey, now I'm going to my store. This is my restaurant. So once we're in the restaurant, we want our restaurant to be clean. No one wants, if you walk into a dirty restaurant or if you go in expecting something and you're served something else, or if you went in with the intentions of getting something and it takes too long to find that something that drew them to you, they're going to leave. They are going to go to another restaurant and get served there. So we're always trying to make sure that how soon can I get them to watch a video or listen to my music is my only goal and strategy. Big mistake I see artists make is the first thing is buy my music, subscribe to my list. It's like, wait, I have not even heard your music yet. But the first thing you want me to do is to buy it. Let us learn from Costco. The music industry could learn a lot from Costco. They give you the sample, and that sample is either sitting right behind them for you to purchase, or it's on that aisle. They don't make you walk 9 aisles over to get what they just gave you that you loved. So that's the same thing. I brought you in to try the chocolate. Bang, here's the chocolate. I brought you here to try this. Bang, here it is. So make sure that everything is in proximity of what brought them to you in the first place.
Okay, and just to reiterate, don't you subscribe or be a part of my list. So what should they say?
People want to be a part of a community. People want to be involved in an experience. So when you can say, I've created this exclusive community where you get to hear my music first, you get to have input on the clothes that I wear, the artwork that I do, and to say thank you for joining the community, which is free, by the way. I will also send you 3 unreleased songs that no one has ever heard. Just tell me where to send the invitation. And then the button should say, send invitation here, whatever. It's just, you want them to be able to feel like they're a part of something, everyone wants to think that you know them. So it's like when you're writing emails, same thing. Hey, you guys, It's like what we were taught in radio is I'm talking to the mom that's in the kitchen preparing breakfast for her kids or whatever the case may be. I'm talking directly to her. So it's like, here's what I have for you. This morning I saw this and I thought of you, not all of you. I wanted all of you to have this. Then it's not special anymore if everyone's getting it. So a lot of what we do and what we say, we need to, I call it, there's a great book. I don't know if it's back here. Yeah. It's called One to Many. And what Jason Fladlin talks about is he's an expert on writing webinars. So I paid him $25,000 to create one of my very first webinars that I did. And he wrote it where it looked like I was just presenting this opportunity to one person, even though many would see it, many would be watching it at the same time. Even when I'm on a webinar and I know there's 300-400 people there, I'm speaking directly to my person. I'm speaking directly to, when I created this course for you, I thought about what it is that you would need in order to build your career successful. I wanted all of you. Now I don't use those words.
Interesting. So just like if I'm staring in that camera, I'm talking to you and just you.
Correct.
Alone. I got it.
That's amazing. And I like the idea of having the path of least resistance is something that you keep repeating but not saying. You're talking about having those links close at hand, having you're teasing something, but the item's right there. You know, it's always the path of least resistance. So that's really important for websites and putting together some marketing strategies. Very good.
That's awesome. Are there any other tips that you would offer our audience? Because I'm being sensitive with time here for you there, Rick. So, any other tips that you can think of?
Yeah, I think, and I just put a link for you, Del, that you can share with everyone. I do a training on discovery marketing, pre-release marketing, post-release marketing. And I really go into detail about the different things that you can do. And that's if you just go to rickbarker.com/vault, VAULT-2021. And I put that you can share with your listeners. But the key is don't try to do too much. Start with baby steps. I love what Cheryl said earlier about a lot of people being uncomfortable and nervous. Don't try to eat the whole elephant at once. Just do it a bite at a time. If Instagram is where your focus is, get great at Instagram. Don't worry about Twitter and all this other stuff. Just get good at the one that you feel most comfortable with. If you are not good on video, don't force yourself to be on video. Practice. Put your camera on a tripod, record yourself singing into the video, watch it back before you go live. And if you make awkward faces, then work on not making those awkward faces. One of the things I noticed when I first started working with musicians, and this is all of them, they can remember the chords, they can remember the lyrics, they can remember the performance steps, but when it comes time to talk, it's like they get marbles in their mouth. You know, it's like that's just not what they're good at. That takes practice. So we can't judge what we don't see. And today, when you are competing with the world for playlist spots, you're not competing with other independent artists. You're competing with everyone. So get yourself to a position where you feel good. Just be okay that you only have 25 people that follow you on your Facebook account. Get great with those 25 people so that when you get to 100, you're an expert at that time. Too often, I think artists wait till they get the big audience and then they show up and practice to these big numbers when you should have been practicing with the smaller numbers. It's like every rock band started off in their living room, started off with their friends, went to the garage, did a block party, ended up at the club. Very seldom do we just go straight to the big audience, because that could be grand opening and grand closing all in one performance because we weren't prepared. No one is forcing you to do this. Some of you may have to come to the realization that this is just a hobby that you love, and you may or may not ever make money from it. I love golf. I spend a lot of money on golf. I will never make back in golf earnings what I invested into golf, but I love doing it. It is a hobby. I treat it like a hobby, and I don't have expectations to be on the PGA Tour because, one, I started too late in life, older artist. Think about it. If everybody's going to say, are you ever too old? The answer is yes. When you're too old when you're at the age where you question everything and want everything to be the way you want it and not the way that it is, you're too old for this business. If you're 70 years old and you have an open mind and you understand the tools that are available to you, you're not too old. But you could have two 50-year-olds that have different thought processes and mindsets, and one of them's too old and one of them's not too old.
Right. It's just a matter of attitude.
They're the same exact age.
Right.
But your mindset and thought process is different.
Yeah, that's true, because then it's a whole attitude of making it work and how to make it work. Wow, this is such good nuggets here.
It is. Now, I know that we had advertised a Backstage Pass. I don't see anyone coming in at this point in time, but if you are interested in doing a Backstage Pass, Rick only has 10 minutes.
Maybe
to
5,
do
yeah.
with us. So if you want to activate that now, because we will have to disappear at 8 o'clock sharp. So just wanted to give that. And again, thank you so much for everyone tuning in to GMI Hub Online. We are talking with Rick Barker, who's giving us tips on marketing for gospel indie artists. The do's, the don'ts with your website, with social media. There's been so much that's been shared. And if you want to learn more from Rick, please go to his website, rickbarker.com, where he has resources and podcasts. And his podcast, yes, is marketing,
Music Industry Blueprint Podcast. You can get it from the website. You can get episodes there. You can get to my YouTube channel from there. You can get a free copy of my book from there. Just go to ricksfreebook.com and I'll send you a PDF of my book. Any of that stuff's readily available.
Great. And we also have a link in our description. We're going to put rick.com Vault 2021, something for you to resource as well. Thank you, Rick, for giving us that. That's great. So that's something for you at home to take a chance to look and to learn something that you would help you in your career and trying to move forward.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, gang. We've said it before. We'll say it again. The GMI Hub Family Christmas Volume 2 is out. You are so welcome to enjoy that music by going to gmihub.bandcamp.com. Thank you for joining us here. If you enjoyed what you've been listening to right now, feel free to hit the like button and smash the subscribe button so you know when we are coming back to share information with you, with people like Rick, who will share their expertise and their knowledge to help you in your music career. Follow us on our socials. We are on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing as much as we can, folks, and we wanted just to engage with you as an audience so you can take part in what we're doing. And the one way to engage is our website at gmihub.ca. I would love to have your email so we can actually engage with you on a monthly basis, sending out a newsletter, which kind of gives you a synopsis of what's going on. And you can be part of our community. I think that'd be just awesome.
Also, too, in the comments, if there's subjects that you would like them to tackle or areas that you're struggling, they have connections to a lot of different people. And we can only serve and help those that we know what their problems are. One of the things that I do is every 6 months, I send out a survey to my list, and I do this on Instagram. And I say, when it comes to the music industry, what's your biggest pain and frustration? And I just listen to what they have to say. So if you've got something that's holding you back, they may have access to a resource, or they can share a link with you, or they can comment back to you. But that's what's great about being in a community like GMI Hub, is that the more they know about you, the more they can serve you. The more opportunities they can create for you is going to be based upon the opportunities that you say that you need. So one of the things that none of us have been gifted with is the ability to mind read. So I always tell artists, the only person you have to blame for a failing career is looking you back in the mirror, because the resources are readily available today. So don't wait for someone to just show up with the answers to the problems that you've never shared. So just make sure that you're using trusted resources. Make sure that the people that you're going to are aligned with what it is that you need. When I created the Music Marketing Vault, I'm always under the impression it's like you can't get a degree from one instructor and one book at a college. Well, that's the same with what I teach. So I always said, I don't want to be the expert in everything. I want to have access to the experts in everything. So I brought in a TikTok guy. I brought in a YouTube person. I brought in an ads person. I brought in a PR person. Yes, I could have gone to Google and read and bought a book and read the book and taught what I read, but I would rather be able to introduce you to the source. And be careful who you're getting your information from. There's a lot of people that will read a book and then write a book about the book that they read, and they will never have personally practiced anything that they're teaching. So make sure that you're surrounding yourself with trusted sources. Make sure that you're letting people know where you're struggling so that they can help you. That does not mean that you're weak. I remember when Taylor Swift's father asked me to be her manager, and I said, I'm not qualified to be her manager. I've never managed anyone. And they said, we're not hiring you because of your managerial experience. We're hiring you because of your marketing experience and because you're not afraid to ask for help. A lot of people think the weakness is asking for help. The weakness is not asking for help. And that was a very valuable lesson that was taught to me early on that I just wanted to share in closing.
Well, I want to just stop right there and say thank you for joining us, because that's all that needs to be said today. Thank you, Rick, so much.
Mic drop. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's a mic drop, bro. Oh my gosh. I thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to just thank you so much for watching. Don't forget that the GMIHub encourages unity, community, mentorship, and talent growth, and that's our mantra, and we just want to let you guys know that we're here for you. And so thank you for joining us.
Awesome. It's been my pleasure. And we'll talk again real soon.
God bless.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
God bless you. And we just want to remind you that next week we have a producer studio talk next week. So we will have a producer's circle. So if you want to meet the producers that were behind the GMI Hub Family Christmas Volume 2 album, you want to tune in next week just to hear their stories about what they went through. Well, that all sounds negative to say it that way, but the journey they went through with the artist with producing their music. So tune in next week. November 22nd is our East to West virtual tour, and that's when you get to see the artists that were on the album perform their music live, and that's going to be awesome. We are going to be traveling virtually right across Canada, so we hope you get to tune in for there. And on November 29th, we have the Tonettes joining us, and they'll be sharing their story about how the Tonettes came about and how they developed their audience, how they found their audience. So much to look forward to. And of course, with Christmas coming up, there's just a whole bunch of wonderful things to look forward to. But for now, again, we thank Rick for joining us. I know he had to dash, but thank you so much for joining us, Rick. Thank you for sharing so much of your insight, which is so invaluable. And thank all of you for watching as well. So until next time, have a good night, and we'll see you.